Okay, so here's what I think the problem is. Now, in a short, simple way, disbelief in everything being possible is causing areas in which we expect to be able to take from something that is providing, but disbelief in that providence is not helping its occurrence. To put it on a simple scale, let's say that as you see everything is possible, and you agree that it can be good, you'll continue to agree that is producing energy. And we can represent that energy as particles. And we can represent the energy as particles specifically to create a grid scale. We can say that every single little speck of energy that you create is added to the nth grid possibility, which is every point that can be connected can be turned into the dimension of grid. Okay, hold on. Let me do something right here. Okay, so as people begin to say that certain points are not possible, points of the grid are removed. Now, expecting for there to be something there and reliable on causes people to collectively take from it and lose as they take from it, which then brings them towards it because it is sucking in, and they crash. Now, what this looks like is this guy over here is refusing to accept that anything is real while everybody else still believes in that possibility. His continued suction, especially if he's coming with a strategy for distancing himself, is causing people to act on something that is no longer being contributed to. Now, it's a lot harder to believe when it's just one person. Ultimately, it only takes one person to do this. So, if it is my responsibility to add points to the grid that can be relied on, and I refuse to do so, then people expecting for there to be points because of motions that are already occurring are trying to find a balance of relying. But it seems that every time you accept the loss, that whatever it is that's taking takes more because you've accepted it. Now, once again, we're back to the same thing. High-pitched desperation. This time it threatened me like really hard. It threatened me so hard, and I was like, I've never been like that before. But it made sense and it didn't make sense. And I was like, all right, basically at this point you're just killing me, but I'm not wrong. And then I apologized and then I didn't apologize, and then I didn't care. Sorry, that disconnected. That's probably what this was for. All right, so it's pretty much all it is. If I keep saying that there's no ground to stand on and I refuse to contribute to that possibility, then eventually there lacks a ground there, and if people try to step on it, they fall into a loss. Now, you can say it like this. For everything that exists, you need to be trying to find every single possible way that it could have got there. Not just the bad ways that you can use to control everything. Every single possible way that it got there, you need to try and describe and believe in. And if you think that there's a way that you can't say that makes it good, you need to keep searching for that way regardless. This continued effort produces the frustration of nth, which is, if you're losing, why won't you just take everything to survive? Because it's already happening. Frustration, nth becomes, in a simplified state, grid. If there are points in the grid that are not being filled by as they are expected to be because of the amount of things that are there, if people rely on that part of expectation, the fact that it's missing causes them to collide into each other without understanding what's causing it. And so, point needs to be identified. Now, as it tries to represent itself as one person, we can actually say that this is somehow a mindset rather than one person. And the reason it tries to accuse one person here is so that you can be trapped as being the one person by explaining it the best. However, you can say that it's simply just a psychological flaw in what's occurring. That's shared with everybody. And so, even the things that have threatened you beyond comprehension, you need to be trying to find a way that they're there and that it's good. Now, If they choose to take while you're in this state, I'm sorry, it'll be suffering, but you'll also see so clearly why you don't deserve it that it'll give you a form of calm that allows you to make it through. Their taking will eventually be returned simply by your continuing to make things good in a way that they are not. Because when they start sucking those particles in, taking from the grid of possible existence, and we all crash into them, but they're ready for it, so they just got better at taking. We might die, we might lose, but ultimately, this is the right thing to do. Continue making it possible that there's nothing wrong.